Alright, robot, here's the story today. The project of the moment is to install this Autovox backup camera on this thing. I'm warming up the motor because I want to warm up the interior. It's a little bit cold today. Here's how it comes out of the box. There's this camera that mounts on the license plate right here, and it's wireless and it's got a battery in it. And so it will broadcast a signal to this screen, which is going to be sitting on the dashboard. So the hope for result of this is that you're going to be able to see where you back up. The reality of that will be found out in a minute. First thing we're going to do is clear off this area right here where we're going to stick it, and then we're going to stick that thing in. Car's got a layer of Florida scuzz on it. See where it came from? Alright, that's clean enough. Alright, now there's this adhesive strip. It's supposed to go up onto the back of the car like this. If I don't trim this down, it's going to be stupid because it won't lie flat against the car. So I'm going to take some scissors here, cut this down a little bit. Get it? That might conceivably work. Ultimately going to go on here, something like this. Right? Alright. Now it's time for the sticker. Peel that off the back. It says 3M. Do you really believe that's 3M? It might be 3M. And so they spent a little money on that adhesive. Now we're going to try to put this all back together. won't object too much, but it looks like this sort of blocks the license plate light. Not that that makes too much difference, but we'll see what happens. That actually did only take about 3 minutes. Alright, we're inside the car now. Now the question of the day is where we're going to mount this thing. What we have to do is put it up here somewhere. You don't want to put it over this button. We really don't want to put it on this door too badly, but we're going to have to, I think. I guess we could put it here if we wanted to. We could put it here. This is probably the best spot for it, I would say. You don't want it to obscure your vision. You do want to put it on here so that you can see it while driving. And you're cool, you're good. I got the 7-inch screen as opposed to the 5-inch screen, which should be a little bit better in theory. Here's your failure mode. We're going to have to peel this adhesive layer off and stick it onto this, which is a little bit rough. It's textured, and that might cause adhesion problems. We'll get out the big guns. I'll go get a glue gun at some point and glue it on there with hot glue if I need to. For now, let's do this. This camera has a little button. Yoink. See if that works. Yes, it works. All right, we're going to have to calibrate this thing, I think. Let's take it down to the parking lot. You can see how this looks. It's actually not too bad of a picture. It is the golden hour out here. Everything looks good right now. There's a drawback, by the way. They give you about 8 feet of this cord. You only really need about 18 inches of it. Wish there was a shorter version of it. I'm going to have to wrap this up and tuck it in here someplace so it doesn't get tangled up. But that's kind of a thing. Probably also don't want to get that tangled up in the gear shift. In theory, it should be stuck down. Maybe I'll tape that down in a minute. Here someplace. So that that doesn't happen. I guess it could go in the glove compartment for that matter. Let's try that. May or may not solve that problem. Yeah, let's turn this thing on and see what happens. There it is. I did have to push that button. Alright, let's back up. The first backing up successfully missed that mailbox. Let's drive down to the parking lot and see how this works. Alright, Alright, here we are in a flat parking lot. I'm going to put it in reverse now. See if I can steer around this. See, those little lines are just on the screen. They don't bend like they would if this was computerized. But in a general way, it does basically tell you whether or not you're straight. I guess for some people, that'd be better than turning their head. Well, according to this thing, it looks like we're centered in the middle of the parking space here. Let's go adjust this and see if we're we're not straight. Let's get it straight on our little gadget here. We'll figure out if we're straight in our parking space. Is that pretty straight? Yeah, that's pretty straight. All right, let's get out. See how we actually did. We're pretty straight in the parking space. I'd say we did okay. What I'm going to do though is adjust this downward a little bit so that I can see right below here. This is hang on. This is going to stay on. Yeah, it's going to stay on. Alright, we're cool. Let's see if that helps us see that line. Nah, it didn't really help us. Wait a minute. How'd that happen? That shut off. Alright, we're fairly straight. Let's try it some more. So it'll keep us from hitting that curb back there. This thing is equipped with a curb alarm. I wonder if putting that camera in made that alarm shut up. We'll find out in a second. Oh, don't hit it. Don't hit it. That's the backup alarm for the car. At least that still works. So that in combination with this thing actually is not terrible. Let's see how close I actually am. Yeah, not terrible. That'll keep me from actually physically hitting somebody, I guess. That'll take some getting used to. Does that interfere with the defroster? Let's see. Nah, it's still defrosting. Might even help the defroster. Try this again. Alright, let's see how straight we are. Yeah, not terrible, but I could probably do a little better. pretty good. Second time. Takes some getting used to. If you're me. Why got shut off? Alright. That's the story. Now let's see if there's a setting on here we can make that last a little bit longer. Not terrible. Probably could have gone back another foot. Alright, I declare bueno. It works, sort of. We'll see how it lasts and whether or not this thing will fall off. I think that's probably the failure mode. We'll see.